All right, we are here. We are in December Q4, and now the industry is about to go on their little break for the holidays. But now is when we get the data. You can look on your phone no matter which DSP you use, and I'm sure they have a wrap up. But today we are going to talk about who is the most streamed artist of 2025. We're going to look at Apple, we're going to look at Spotify, and then we're going to draw some conclusions and talk about some of the narratives that I've seen floating around. If it's your first time here, I go by the name Jay Roebuck, and welcome to the channel. Make sure you check out some merch, check out the Patreon. If you've been here before, welcome back, family. And at the end of this video, as always, jump in the comment section. In fact, today's video is inspired by a comment that I got. So shout out to Porque Fresco 585. He put a question here. Let's read it. What up, Jay? You're not going to talk about Drake being the most listened to artist, not just rapper, but artist in general, on Apple Music in 2025? Especially with the ironic context of the platforms Not Like Us tweet back in February. Peace, love your channel and your content. Keep going. First of all, shout out to you. So instead of just writing and typing back to you, let's just make it a topic. So let's talk Apple, we'll talk Spotify, we'll talk the streaming numbers, and we'll talk about what I think it means. Let's roll. So the first thing we have to know is that every DSP might have a different answer. There's going to be some similar names in the top 5 or 10, but there's going to be a different number one person. But when it comes to Apple Music, the most streamed artist in 2025 was Drake. The year of his demise, the year where they planned the funerals, the years where they walked all over his grave, all of these things that people did, he's washed, we don't listen to him. He was the most streamed artist on the platforms. So salute to Drake. So number one, I think that's dope. The second part of your question or comment was, isn't it ironic that Apple Music tweeted they not like us during the Super Bowl? And I don't think it's ironic. Business does not care about people or individuals. Drake is the main factor, the main reason why Apple Music took off as a streaming platform. Like, there's no way around that. When him and Apple did that deal in, I think, 2016, where he would release music exclusively through them, he gave them the name and notoriety, the biggest artists in the world, that they needed to make people go to the platform. If you remember at this time, you have Apple, you have Spotify, you have Tidal. All of these places are competing for market share. Now, of course, most people have iPhones here in the United States, and people who have iPhones use Apple Music because it's just compatible across all devices. But a large part of them getting that market share was because they had Drake as the artist who was there to back them. Of course, Taylor Swift was there as well. But in terms of hip hop, which was the dominant genre at the time, that was due to Drake. But there's no loyalty when it comes to business. Business will go with the ebbs and flows of whatever pop culture is dictating is the right thing or the current or the hot thing at the moment. So yeah, I don't think they care. Whoever tweeted it, tweeted it. There's a lot of major companies that during this time were saying things that are not morally right or hinting or alluding to things, but that's just the nature of the beast. But as we see, Drake still remains king over at Apple Music when it comes to who and what the people are consuming on a daily basis. Now, there is no cap in my rap. There's a lot of people who said that they were boycotting Drake. They don't listen to the music. Drake's new music is bad. All this nonsense that people spew that I don't pay attention to. Let's look at my 2025 Apple Music Wrapped. My number one song, Raining in Houston. My number one album, Some Sexy Songs for You. And then the other artist who I listened to the most this year and probably over the past 5 years is Central C. So everything that I talk about on this channel, I keep it 100% as authentic as I could be. These are the artists who I listen to. My last video was about Central C and the marketing that he does. And, you know, on this channel, a lot of it was started because of the unfair and the hypocrisy that I saw around Drake in YouTube content creators. So I decided to just be authentic and not base my content on hate and just show appreciation for all artists, but specifically an artist that I've been listening to for the past 15 years.
Have y'all noticed that Drake and his little PR machine and his sleep streamers are bragging that Apple Music named him the most streamed artist of 2025? As if we didn't just read in a lawsuit that you use 500 billion bots to stream your music. Like,
Okay, so we got to think critically here. First of all, I guess it's hyperbole, the number 500 billion. That's just wrong. And if you're referencing a lawsuit, that wasn't about Apple Music. That was about Spotify. Two different platforms. Apple Music does a much better job when it comes to bot and bot detection than Spotify does. And Spotify has actually done sweeps and cleanups over the past year where they're changing and modifying artist numbers to reflect the bots that they have taken off and the fake streams. Drake's numbers were indeed not affected.
Nokia didn't even reach #1 on the real charts. But somehow you're #1 where only bots can push the shopping cart. They're out here celebrating most streamed. Like we don't know he paid for the cheat code. Meanwhile, Billboard looking at him like, where's the actual hit though?
The confidence in which some people speak when they're just wrong is baffling to me. But okay, first of all, some sexy songs for you did go #1. Thank you for being accurate. Then you talked about no hits. Nokia went #2, was definitely an organic hit because that was even a song that people deemed to come from the album. Somebody Who Loves Me is another hit, organic. And then we could talk about What Did I Miss? That went #2 as well. And this is what you're touching on. You're saying he's the most streamed, but the song didn't go #1. So what should that indicate to you? That streams don't make a song go #1. It's actually the radio play, which has nothing to do with streaming. In fact, radio play is the easiest thing to manipulate. And then you talk about, oh, Drake paid, he has the cheat code. This is why I talk about critical thinking, people. You believe that Drake is out here committing a crime and paying for inflated numbers, right? Which is you're not allowed to do, right? It's illegal. You think he's doing that while he's also suing his label and accusing them of allegedly engaging in the same behavior for Kendrick Lamar. Does that make any sense? This is like committing a crime on camera and saying, "Hey, catch me." Why would anyone do that? Like it just doesn't make sense. So shout out to this creator. I've never seen it work before. Somebody tagged me in it, so I wish you all the best of luck. But just be accurate if you're gonna start hating. Like it doesn't make sense to hate and then just be wrong. Hate and be a little right at least, please. Now you know the Petty King Drake posted as well, and I think what he posted applies to a lot of people who have been hating on him all year and what their wrap up list may look like. Let's take a look at the video he posted.
Just dropped all top 5 by artist Drake. I didn't even listen to one song.
I only listen to country music and all minor Drake. How'd that happen?
I don't even have Spotify and all minor Drake.
Yo, you nerds talking about Spotify Wrapped? Let me guess. All Drake.
Yeah, whatever, man.
You? No, not me. I'm a feminist. I'm cultured. I listen to women.
Whatever, then but fine. What's yours, dude?
Aubrey Graham.
That's Drake.
Man,
His
that's
name
Drake.
is Aubrey.
That's his real name. That's not
government name.
Matt,
Drake.
Matt.
Aubrey Drake.
Now, I know that this probably rings true for a lot of people. Everybody has a friend who says this. Friends of mine have DM'd me and say, yo, I don't know. I don't listen to that much Drake. I don't know how he made it, but he was there. It's okay, my friends. But now, next thing we'll talk about. And now let's kick it over to Spotify. The top 10 artists globally. #1 is Bad Bunny. Bad Bunny will also be at the Super Bowl. So no denying his stardom, no denying his talent. He's going to put it on the world stage for everyone to see. And that will be happening in February. Taylor Swift, #2. Taylor, the biggest mobster. You know, in the music game, there's no stopping Taylor. That album did record-breaking numbers. The Weeknd, #3, came off a world tour. Drake, #4 in the world. Billie Eilish, Ocean Eyes is one of my favorite songs. Birds of a Feather, one of my favorite songs. She's amazing. And then Kendrick Lamar with #6. So shout out to the hip-hop artists holding it down. We only have Drake, and Kendrick Lamar in the top 10. So globally, hip-hop needs to step it up because we have to be represented on these things. I talk about representation and why numbers matter all the time. Now, if we go just to the United States, who are the top 10 artists in the U.S.? Taylor Swift, #1, obviously, dropping that new album. Drake, #2. Kendrick Lamar, #4. Tyler, #9. So we do have some more hip-hop. Oh, and Kanye West, #10. We do have more hip-hop representation in the top 10. SZA represented R&B. Shout out to her. The Weeknd represented pop/R&B. So there's a lot more representation when it comes to the artists in the United States. But globally, hip-hop should have more of a look. So shout out to all the people who I just named. I want to continue to see everyone win because when hip hop is a dominant genre, it only does good things. It helps pump money into the genre. It helps bring out new talent. It helps fund new talent. It helps fund crews, helps fund teams, marketing, PR, all the good stuff that help people escape situations that many hip hop artists come from. Benefit when hip hop streams well, when hip hop sells well. So I always want to see those things happen. So to me, this was no surprise. I actually probably could have predicted this 6 months ago. These things seems pretty consistent. Kendrick Lamar is coming off the biggest year of his career, and that's why you see him up in these numbers as well. You may not have seen him last year. So shout out to that whole team. Shout out to TDE. So there's a lot to look forward to. Let me know what you think in the comments. Are you surprised or did you expect these things? To me, no surprise here. But here's my challenge. I want you all to think. What do you think happens in 2026? What artists will move up? What artists will drop? What albums will change this for next year? What artists are going to be on a big tour next year? I'm going to have a video coming out soon where I get my 2026 hip hop and R&B predictions. Look for that in like the next 2 to 3 weeks. I'll probably drop it right before the new year. There's a lot more on the way. Again, my name is Jay Roebuck. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, tell a friend to tell a friend, join the channel. It's all family here. Jump in the comments. I'm ready to debate. Just keep it respectful and keep it healthy. And as always, thank you, thank you, thank you.